Hey, here I am and welcome back. Today I'm going to revisit a project that I tried at the end of last year
that didn't quite turn out the way that I wanted it to.
And that project was turning my granddad's old tobacco tin into a paint palette. This tobacco tin is St Bruno Flake. I really liked it. It looked very kind of old-timey. It's only small. It's in my hand. I liked how it looked used. It looked antique. I made sure that it was all nice and clean. There was bits of rust on the top, but I cleaned it, but not too much that I'd take off the logo or the markings that were on there. It fits 4 paint colors, and also I added this sponge around the outside, which helps keep everything in place, and I thought I could clean my brush on it if I needed to. Now, although I had all of those successes, I don't like what happened here on what I turned into the mixing palette. What I used for this was this Easy Home multi-purpose spray paint that I found in Aldi when I was last in the UK. I think it was about £3. It says rapid drying resin lacquer. It doesn't particularly say that it's waterproof. As you can see, some of my colors stained it, so it didn't actually really work all that well, even though it was
very nice and smooth and shiny.
So my plan is to try and remove this paint and repaint the lid. I have bought some things to help me with this. I have this Quita Pinturas paint remover. The idea is that I will spray that and it should just peel off. And then later I'm going to use this enamel paint to spray paint it again, and hopefully that will have a bit more durability to it and won't stain as much. And if it does,
well, then I'm just going to have to deal with the stain mixing palette.
So that's pretty much it. Let's see if I can fix it. So here we have the St Bruno Flake tobacco tin in all its glory. Just open it up there. Now we need to take everything out. So we're taking out the sponge. And these are actually just watercolor pans that I have stuck a magnet on the bottom of so that they stay in place. These paint pans are all Winsor & Newton. Now first things first, I need to cover the whole tin with masking tape. Oh, yellow paint pans got involved. Goodbye. And now that everything is taped up sufficiently, I can take this paint remover and spray it. I've come outside, I'm on my balcony now and it's actually raining. It says here on my paint remover, quickly removes layers of paint, varnish and other coatings. Penetrates deeply and removes paint without damaging the original surface. Great. Oh, I think it's best to use this in a well-ventilated area, which is why I've come outside. And I've also brought this old towel of mine, which I'm going to put down on the floor. I'm going to put this on top. Let's give it a spray and see what happens. I'm shaking up the can for 2 minutes first, and then give it a nice even spray. And I love watching this, the paint just all kind of peeling back. Oh, it looks lovely. The paint only seemed to peel up at the side of the tin. I wonder if I didn't leave it long enough or if I didn't spray enough on. I'm not really sure. But I started by taking it off with this little wooden stick, and it just scraped off so easily. I was really surprised. However, when I started getting towards the middle, it didn't scrape off so easily with that. So I took this little palette knife thing, and at first that was quite difficult as well, until I managed to get underneath the paint, and then it all just came off really quite easily. There was a little stubborn bit there that I couldn't get off, so I just gave it another quick spray with paint remover, and then I just left that to rest for another 20 minutes. And then it scraped off a treat. Look at that. Once I got all the paint out, I dried it out with a towel. Now last time when I spray painted this, I sprayed all the way up inside of the lid, which made it quite difficult to close and open. So this time I've decided to tape that up, so I will only have the white section on that flat surface there. Here we are back outside on the balcony again to spray it, and
Disaster!
The little pump part of the spray can just fell off in my hands and went everywhere. Anyway, I managed to fix it, put it back on, and gave it a little spritz. Tried to keep it nice and even, and I tried to get into each corner as well. And now we're back inside again. I left it to dry with this piece of paper on top because I didn't want little bits of dust to fall into it or anything like that.
Disaster!
I hadn't taped over that part with the masking tape.
Disaster!
I hadn't taped over that part with the masking tape either. Oh look.
Disaster!
I had taped over that part, but somehow the paint got inside. Very carefully I removed the masking tape from the inside of the lid, which came off really quite easily actually. And then that's when I noticed a mini disaster. a little part of it there had seeped up underneath the masking tape. Then as I was lifting the tin up to the light to check it out, it fell over and touched my thumb, which left a thumb mark on it because it wasn't dry. So I thought maybe I can smooth it out with this palette knife.
Disaster.
No, then the palette knife stuck and ruined it. Fuming. I'm gonna have to start all over again. So here I am, scraping out the enamel, which clearly was nowhere near dry. I'm so impatient, I needed to wait much longer for it to dry. It was actually really quite hard to scrape out because it was kind of dry. Well, isn't this fun?
Disaster.
I sprayed some of the paint remover into the lid of the spray can, which then leaked all over my cutting board, resulting in the paint being dissolved off that. Anyway, taking a cotton swab just to put some of the paint remover on the tin where this enamel paint had managed to get through my masking tape, and then wiping it off with a dry paper towel. And as I did the time before and the time before that, I am masking taping the entire tin. I'm actually not leaving any part of the tin exposed. I'm completely mummifying this tin. And now that that's ready, I'm going to take it outside and spray it with paint remover. And through the magic of editing, there it is. It's done. So I left that to soak for about 10 minutes or so, but I'm not going to put you through that again. So here we are to later on. Taking a cotton swab, mixing it all up, making sure everything has come off. Taking it off with a dry paper towel again, drying it out again, making sure there's no residue left. Now I don't know what possessed me to do what I did next, but I tried to make a dividing section for the palette so I could have two sides. I tried to use a hot glue gun stick, which obviously did not work. Then I tried to use this kind of flat stirring stick thing that I seem to have a lot of, and I was using that as a guide for my hot glue, thinking that that would work, but obviously that didn't work either and it just peeled off. Then finally I decided to actually use this little wooden stick thing and glue that down into the center, which I would then spray on top of, and hopefully that will hold it in place. But somewhere between the camera and the laptop, I lost the footage of me respraying this, but it's nothing you haven't already seen. Hi again, it's me. This has probably only been about 10 minutes for you guys, but for me this has been a long 6 weeks of problems with this flipping paint tin. I don't even know what to say. I'm glad to see the back of this. I've had enough. I've even moved house. I'm in a different place and I've got a little bit of branding going on here. Basically this kept going wrong, as you've already seen. And if it hasn't worked this time, I'm done with it. I can't be bothered anymore. I don't want to look at a can of spray paint anymore. I don't want to look at a can of Quita Pinturas or whatever it's called anymore. I just want to use this. I can't even remember what I've done. I can't remember what I filmed. I don't even know, is this attempt number 3, attempt number 4? I'm not sure. But what I am sure of is I'm not doing it again. I hope it's going to look really cute, but is it worth it? I don't know. I'll tell you after. So now my plan is to take off all of this masking tape and then test it out. And let's see if it works. And if it does, great! But I'm not doing it again. So let's just see how it goes, because I've had enough. Oh, just look at all this. Look at all this mess that is caused by this. In the end, I gave up trying to avoid spraying up the side of the tin because it kept seeping up underneath the masking tape anyway. I'm worried that because of this ridge, it's not going to close properly. Let's see. Oh, it has just left a little indentation there, but nothing too bad, it closes. So I'm going to use this sandpaper just to remove any little bits of paint that's got stuck around. Right, let's get my paints. Put them back in. You've been waiting a long time, haven't you, boys? No, actually, these aren't the colours that I want in there. If we're going to do this, we're going to do it right. Okay, let's go. Let's take my favourite ones out of here, and you can tell which they are because they're the most used. In fact, I'm going to put all my Daniel Smith colours in here. It's going to challenge me to only use a limited palette. Okay, let's put my little sponge back in around there. Nice and snug. Okay, now you can go to one side. and you can go with it. So to really test out the mixing palette, I decided to use every single colour that I had, just so that if one of them was going to stain it, I could see which it would be. I also took this opportunity to mix all these colours together and see what colours I could make, and I had a really good time doing this, even if these do look like tadpoles. Let's just let that sit for a minute, and then I'm going to come back and wipe it off and see if any of these colours have stained. I mean, I'm not going to be cleaning it off like this after every use. But look at that already. It is already taking stain. So, what do I have to say? After 6 weeks, I'm no better off than I was before, but I am going to use it. It's cute, it has sentimental value, but I can't find anything that makes a good mixing palette. In conclusion, love this, love this, love this, meh. If you're bothered about the staining, then don't waste your time doing it this way. If you know a better way, I'd love to hear about it down in the comments. But otherwise, I'm in no better position than I was 6 weeks ago when I removed the first layer of paint. Am I disappointed? A little, maybe. I wish I hadn't put this bar in the middle now, but it's there, isn't it? So, make of it what you will. I don't know what I make of it, so not a disaster. That's it. I'm done.